Welcome to MomTV. We are super excited you're here. I'm quite passionate about the subject that we're going to be talking about today, and that's keeping our student athletes safe, and the fact that concussions are something that 4 million of our athletes, whether they are adults or children, suffer every year. And I think when I came across this information, it really struck home for me, because I guess it amazed me that we actually have this technology to keep our kids safe and to test for concussions on the sideline. And the technology and the tool is available, and there are so few coaches and schools using it, and really it costs pennies to keep our children safe. And I can only speak from my own experience of having multiple athletes in my family. I have 2 sons. They both play football, and one works in the football world right now. And I ended up in the back of an ambulance with a child that was struck wrong. And there's nothing worse than seeing your child's eyes kind of roll back in his head and then end up in an ambulance. But in some ways, I was the lucky one, because he had outward signs that he had gotten a concussion by the hit. There are lots of kids who actually die in the United States because they've suffered a concussion and their coaches put them back into the game without realizing that they've had a concussion. And I think that that's why when I met the folks from Removed from Play, that I was just so touched and gravitated toward them and their product, that I said, you know what, let me go ahead and use some of my influence to educate moms about this. And what I think you're going to hear today is, instead of just going out there and marketing it to moms, what we've tried to do is create a toolkit that you can download on their website and actually take the information, be the legs that take the information into the schools and to the coaches and say, hey, you know what? You could be keeping not only my child safe, but a lot of other children safe for mere pennies per child. And that's what we hope to tell you about. But the other thing we do know is that it's expensive to have a student athlete. And so we're going to give away a couple of gift cards today on the show that hopefully you can put to use for that new pair of cleats, or the new hockey stick, or the new ball that I'm sure you're going to need in the next couple of weeks, because we know all those things have to be replenished all the time. So I'm really delighted today to have with me a guest that's going to talk about the King-Devick Test. She is far more experienced to talk about it than I am. Her name is Christy Johnson. She was born and raised in Southern California, and after graduating from high school, she went to DePaul University, where she played softball for 4 years on a scholarship. She went on to become an RN, and she is currently working on her master's in nursing education. Christy, I feel your pain, because I'm working on my master's in business administration right now, and it's not an easy thing to do, to be a mom and work on your master's at the same time. But you have 2 daughters who are active in sports, and we are super excited that you chose to spend some of your time today to talk to us about this. So welcome to MomTV.
Well, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your involvement and how, I guess, what your ties are and your feeling about the King-Devick Test.
Well, basically what happened, they came to me to be a representative on the West Coast, and when it was brought to me, I honestly was so touched, like you mentioned earlier, with my 3 kids and having been an athlete myself. I just couldn't resist the chance to get the word out here, out there. It's an extremely important topic that I think has made a lot of headlines lately. But for moms, I think, you know, to know that our kids are safe out there. I mean, myself, my son with football, I'm very hesitant to put him in because of that fear. So if we can get the word out there and share this test with people, I think we're keeping our kids a lot safer, and that makes me feel better. And that's really why I got involved, to be honest with you. I felt very compelled and passionate about it.
So the King-Devick test, removed from play testing, is a timed sideline concussion screening test that can be administered by parents or coaches in less than 2 minutes. Can you talk about what the scenario is? So a child is maybe gets a hard hit to the head on the field, then what happens with the test?
So basically what they would do is pull that child aside and you would have them sit down and you would administer the test. And I can show you briefly, like a little bit about what it looks like. You would basically have the child read the cards, the numbers on the cards. It looks like this, the first card, and you read the numbers across left to right, left to right as fast as they can without making any errors. For kids under 9 years old, they only do the first 2 cards. The cards get progressively more difficult, but really you're going to start the time when they read that first number, and you're going to stop it at the last number on that card. And then you move to the next card, and you start the same process. And when they finish, you stop it, and that would be their time or their score, basically. And if you compare that to a baseline that you've done before the season or at the start of the year, and if that time is a second or more longer than their baseline, you want to make sure you remove them from play and make sure they seek, help for a professional.
And
so it's pretty simple. It's pretty fast.
So why are concussions so dangerous? Like, I don't know that many of us really know what happens when you suffer a concussion.
I think the biggest danger, like you mentioned earlier, is having a concussion and being put back out in play and having that secondary impact. I think that is the most dangerous part with a kid playing and not knowing they have a concussion, getting hit again. The impact is probably quadrupled. I mean, the amount of damage you're doing to the brain, and that's why it's so dangerous. That secondary impact, like you said, can cause death or just really, really damaging results. So it's scary. I know, at first people think, oh, just shake it off, you're dizzy, you have a headache, but I know just from my personal experience among just even a softball player, which you don't think softball is super, high impact sport, but their daughter's been hit a couple times and she's still feeling the effects of it. She's having a hard time sleeping at night. She has episodes where she gets dizzy just out of the blue, and it's just scary. I mean, the brain is a very fragile thing, and I think us telling kids to shake it off is a big mistake. I think people don't understand how serious it is.
And so the King-Devick test removed from play testing, it actually, so schools and sports teams can implement the test. It costs as little as $5 per athlete per year, which is pretty amazing. So why aren't more schools doing it?
I think they're just not aware, because I think as a mom, and most of you know out there, $5 to me is a no-brainer. I think the education needs to happen. I think they need to be made aware. I just don't think they know. I think if they realized that this was so readily available and so inexpensive, I think they would have to do it. It just makes sense.
Well, and the good news is that created what we're calling the playbook, which is a tool that moms can use to download and actually take in and deliver to their coaches to their coaches. We're going to put a link to it here in just a minute on in the chat room. But first, let's watch a video about the test.
The athletic trainers here are on the field from the start and beginning of the practice or game. So if we see an incident that is extremely violent, or if the athlete does not seem like themselves, we'll immediately bring the athlete off the field and evaluate them on the sidelines to ensure that they don't return to play if it's something that could make them worse.
Swale, come with me. Take your helmet off.
You're going to read these numbers out loud, left to right, and I'm going to time you. When you get to the last number, I'll press stop. So as fast as you can.
425 60579 40823 653 68718.
We use the King-Devick test for removal from play.
4278.
It's a quick sideline test that's completely objective, and the athlete can't lie about it, can't cheat on it, can't memorize it. Second card, same thing. You can read these numbers out loud, left to right, as fast as you can. Okay? Yeah.
7018482.
Vision is a big part of how we measure how the brain's doing. The eyes are actually part of the brain, and so therefore just using the visual pathways we can really get a handle on what's going on with concussion.
94028-19780.
So it's very quick and it's easy to administer right on the sideline. So is there anything that you'd like to add to that video, Christy?
No, I mean, it pretty much is pretty self-explanatory. It really is as simple as it looks. I know somebody asked what is the youngest. Yeah, 5 years old is the youngest you can use the test on. Yeah, I just think it's easy. It's so reliable. It's accurate, and anyone, like you said, can do it. So I think it doesn't take a medical professional or someone with a medical background to do it, which makes it nice. Moms, dads, coaches can step up and do that.
There is a mom who's asking, do you have to be a trainer or a doctor to use it? Can you just be a mom and purchase it and have it?
You can do that. Definitely. Yes, that's possible.
Okay, so one of the things I mentioned, the playbook. So we added a link to it in the chat room, but basically what we did was we wanted to give moms the opportunity to, be their advocate for their child. And we created this RFP, Remove from Play Testing Playbook, that has everything you need in it to go to your administrator, to go to your coach, to encourage them to protect your child on the sideline. So in that, you'll find a letter so that you don't have to come up with it. You'll find information on how it works so that you don't have to memorize this. We give you a sample request letter. We give you a petition if you feel like you want to get all the moms on your team to sign up for it so that you show support. We try to make it as easy as possible so that you can deliver that information to your teacher, to your schools, to your coaches, and at least put it in their hands. And we honestly, I think, gave you everything you could possibly need. We tried to make it really very easy for our moms. We give the contact information. So basically all you have to do is download it, deliver it to your coach. Hey, coach, I heard about this really neat test. Maybe you need to look into it. So Shauna is asking, Christy, how long does it take to train someone to be able to administer it?
Honestly, the training probably would take a matter of minutes, 5-10 minutes max. It's just as simple as you saw. You just are going to time them. So it's just explaining the test to them and then timing them. That's pretty much it.
Well, I have just a few more questions for you, but before I ask them, I want to give all of our moms who are attending the opportunity to win a $50 Visa card that you can go and restock the cleats or whatever sporting equipment that you use in your house. And in the chat room, what we'll do is we'll randomly select one mom who wants to put into the chat room and share with us the sport that your child plays. And if you're the mom with the young children, you can go ahead and just let us know what sport you hope your child will play. Share with us that, and we'll randomly pick someone out of the chat room to win the gift card. And then we're going to give another gift card away at the end by asking you to go to Twitter and use the hashtag that Elizabeth is going to put right here in the chat room. But use our hashtag friend RFP2test. Friend them on Facebook. Elizabeth will put that. So friend Remove from Play on Twitter. Follow them on Twitter and use the hashtag. And all you got to do is tweet out something you learned here today. We're going to follow the hashtag until this evening. And tonight at 6, we will pick a winner of someone who's tweeted out something about what you've learned today about the King-Devick test and Remove from Play testing. So, Christy, girls, I take it, are as accessible or are as likely to get a concussion than boys are, right?
They definitely are. There's been some studies, I think we don't realize it, but girls' sports are just as dangerous. And they actually, I want to say there was a study where girls have more undetected ones, because I think we don't realize that it happens so much, and girls maybe don't realize it's happening. But yeah, they definitely do, for sure.
Yeah, and Susan brought up a good point. Her son actually is a gymnast, and she was saying in the chat room that gymnastic coaches should be aware of this with all of the head injuries that happen when the kids fall off the bars.
A great point. Yeah.
So, okay, do we have any more questions? Oh, and we have another suggestion of dance teachers. So, are there any other questions for Christy? So, Christy, why do you think, for adults and adult teams, why do you think the NFL and other people, it seems so basic to me. Why do you think that they're not doing more or at least the school systems, to protect children from concussions?
You know, in my opinion, I don't know if they're afraid that it costs too much, or they're just not aware. But I think a lot of times too, they want to play and coaches want them to play. And so I think a lot of times they don't really want to know, unfortunately. But if you're out there to protect kids and protect adults as well, I mean, these are being used in colleges too, and professional sports as well. So, I think it's a matter of just getting the word out there. People don't know that it exists at such an inexpensive price point.
Well, we hope that everybody, all the moms here, will take a link to the playbook that we put up, and also share that on their Facebook and their social media, because even if you don't want to approach a school or a coach or put it in the hands to someone, some of your moms might. So we encourage you to share that playbook with other moms. Elizabeth, I think, is going to pick the winner. And what I want to remind you is that you can follow updates on Facebook. Remove from Play to Test is their Facebook page, and the website is rfp2test.com. Follow them on Twitter today, and Remove from Play on Twitter. And we'll follow the hashtag and look for your tweets. We'll pick another winner for another $50 Visa card if you tweet out something that you learned about today. What I would love is if you would tweet out the playbook, of course, because then I know that other moms are going to get the information and we're going to put it in their hands. Christy, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really great. I share your passion and hope that moms will share the information. So thank you very much for being here. And I want to thank all the moms who are here for a short little MomTV Meetup today. And remember to use the hashtag and tweet out something that you've learned today about Remove from Play testing. Thank you, Christy, very much. And thank you, moms. And have a great afternoon, everybody.